Today's video is sponsored by Hit Point Press and their September Big Bad Alchemic Rex, a mimic dragon resurrected by its kobold cultists. Alright guys, Jameson and Alex here. Today we're talking about the Titan Heart Sorcerer Subclass from Arcadia, issue number 1 from Matthew Colville's MCDM.
Yep.
So yeah, if you're new to the channel or subclass series, what we're going to do is go through all the abilities gained in the subclass. Then we're going to rate the roleplay, combat, and synergy based on how the abilities gained in the subclass improve on the base class abilities.
That's right.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to be entered in our D&D Beyond Players Bundle giveaway. All that being said, let's get straight into it.
Starting with level 1, we have Ancient Knowledge, which will give us proficiency with martial weapons. Yeah, I said that. With a sorcerer, and you can speak, read, and write Primordial. Knowing these languages also allows you to understand the sub-dialects of Aquan, Aran, Ignan, and Terran, the different elemental sub-languages within the Primordial family.
Yes.
Getting to some linguistics up in here. Also, at level 1, as part of our main base feature, we have Titan Manifestation. And if you ever wanted your your sorcerer to be a druid with wild shape, basically what we're going to get to do here.
Something like that.
You can physically embody your connection to Titans for a short time as your form takes on aspects of your origin Titan. If that Titan is a kraken, you may grow fishy scales all over your body. If the Titan is a child of a deity, you may take on a heavenly glow or manifest large horns or what have you. As an action, you assume the form for up to 1 minute. It ends early if you are knocked unconscious or if you choose to end it early as a bonus action. While in this form, you gain the following benefits. Your size increases to large. Your AC increases by 2. When you make a melee weapon attack, you can use your charisma instead of your strength or dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. Your weapon and equipment grow to match your new size. While these weapons are enlarged, they deal an extra 1d4 damage of their chosen type. And your spells and melee weapons also deal double damage to objects and structures. While your Titan Manifestation feature is active, you can also know and cast the Blaze, Cataclysm, Daybreak, Glacier, and Quake spells as sorcerer spells. These are special primordial spells described below. You can use this feature twice and regain both uses when you finish a long rest.
So let's just take a quick second here and look over these spells. Put them all on screen, so if you want to look at them in depth, go ahead and pause it, but I'm going to probably just kind of hit the highlights of each of these. So all of them are first level evocation spells, just so that's right off the bat. First up is Blaze, 1 action, range of self, concentration, 1 minute. Body ignites in flames. When a creature gets within 5 feet of you for the first time on a turn or starts its turn within 5 feet of you, it takes 1d8 fire damage, and then when cast up, it deals an extra 1d8 damage per level cast up. Cataclysm, 1 bonus action, range self, concentration, up to 1 minute. The next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, deals an extra 1d8 psychic damage and must make a wisdom save. On a fail, the target has disadvantage on the next attack they make before the end of your next turn. And again, when cast up, it deals an extra 1d8 for each level. Kind of like a smite and like a reverse guiding bolt. Like it gives them disadvantage instead of giving allies advantage. Daybreak, which is 1 action, instantaneous duration, 60-foot range. Tiny radiant sun appears above your head. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. Target takes 2d6 fire or radiant damage, your choice, must succeed a con save or be blinded until the end of your next turn. And then again, increases by 1d6 for each spell slot level. Glacier, first level, again, I guess all of them. 1 action, 60 foot, instantaneous. Each creature in a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point must make a dexterity save, taking 1d12 cold damage or half as much on success. Creature who fails also has speed reduced to 0 until the end of your next turn. And again, upcast increases the 1d12 per level. And lastly, we have Quake, 1 action, 90-foot range, concentration up to 1 minute. 15-foot radius area of a point you choose begins to rapidly shake. The area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature enters the area for the first time or starts its turn there, it must succeed a dex save or fall prone. As an action, you can move the Quake's origin point to another spot within range. And then this one, when you upcast it, it increases the radius by 5 feet for each spell slot level. So that one is more of the druidish kind of feel.
That's right. So all the spells you're getting as part of this extra things, which will be more involved later as we get to the rest of the subclass. At level 6, we get Strength of Magic. You can use your Charisma modifier instead of your Strength modifier for strength checks and strength saving throws as your magical connection to the Titans grows stronger. You also get Toughened Grace at 6. While transformed by your Titan Manifestation feature, your total bonus to AC from the feature increases to +4, and you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action. Additionally, you can use your Titan Manifestation feature 3 times, regaining all use when you finish a long rest. So don't waste a lot of time giving you a buff to the base mechanic. You get an extra use, more AC, and extra attack.
Level 14, we have Titan's Will. When you use your Titan Manifestation, you can choose to become large or huge when you enter. If you become huge, the bonus damage for your weapon attacks increases from 1d4 to 1d10, and your walking speed increases by 20 feet. So you get bigger, and you can move faster, and you deal more damage.
Also, yes.
While you are huge, you can expend a spell slot and stomp the ground as an action, releasing a wave of destructive energy. Each creature within 20 feet must make a con save or take 2d6 thunder damage per level of the spell slot you expend, and get pushed back 10 feet on a failed save, or take half damage and not get pushed back on a success. Additionally, you regain 2 sorcery points when you use your Titan Manifestation feature, and then while your feature is active, you spend 1 sorcery point to treat a spell you cast as if you use a spell slot 1 level higher than you spent to cast it to a maximum of 9th level.
Yep.
So you cast a level 8 spell, spend a sorcery point, and then cast it at a 9th level upcast.
Yeah, basically upcasting it without having to spend the extra higher spell slot.
Yeah, just use a sorcery point.
Yep. Great value there. Also at 18, we have Ancient Colossus. You have advantage on strength checks and saving throws while your Titan Manifestation feature is active. I will remind you, you can still use your Charisma to have advantage on those saving throws, especially. In addition, when you cast a primordial spell available to you through your Titan Manifestation feature, the spell is cast at a minimum of 3rd level, even if you only use a 1st or 2nd level spell slot to cast it. That's wonderful. If you spend a sorcery point to increase the level of a primordial spell that was cast using a spell slot at 1st or 2nd level, treat the spell's effects if he had used a 4th level slot.
Right, so you're just using 1 to scale up from a 3rd to 4th level,
right?
Even if you cast a 1st level spell.
Yeah, which is pretty nifty. Not bad. You can also unleash the full strength of the Titans of the magic you draw when you cast a spell that deals damage to 1 or more targets. While you use your Titan Manifestation feature and it is active, you can choose to deal maximum damage instead of rolling dice. You must declare that you are using this before you cast the spell. Your Titan Manifestation feature, man, that's a fun word to say, ends immediately after the spell is resolved. So essentially, if you know either like you're about to go unconscious, because like you're down to like
Hail Mary,
9 health, or you know it's the last turn it's going to be up, you like, rah, and it's gone.
Yeah, and you go full damage Meteor Swarm. Because why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are all the abilities. So let's just jump straight into the rating portion. First up is the roleplay, asterisk as always. Talking about roleplay, we're talking about interacting with the world around you, interacting with NPCs, non-combat scenarios, avoiding combat, basically things outside the initiative order. Not talking about your class fantasy, history, lore, background, that's on you as a player. We can't rate you, but we can rate the abilities gained and how they might improve your potential in those roleplay scenarios. So, all that being said, if you notice going through these abilities that there's not much going on here, that's because there's not much going on here. You do get a language bonus. You get Primordial.
Yep,
so,
and all of its sub-families.
That's nice. You do get the Siege property while you're manifested. Now, you have to do that, and it's only a maximum ever of 3 times per day.
Yeah.
It does affect your spells as well, so you could do, really trying to take something down. You go Titan form, and you're smashing it and casting it.
If you want to cave in a cave behind you, you can totally do it.
You certainly can do that.
Yep.
And then being able to add your Charisma to strength checks, and an advantage with that if you're evolved, manifest. I don't want to say Titan Manifestation every single time. When you're transformed, let's go with that.
Yeah, transformed is
much
better.
You can get advantage as well for those.
Yep.
So that's really it. And the thing is, too, it's not even giving you a bonus of your Charisma. It's just use Charisma instead of Strength.
Yeah.
So it's not like Strength plus Charisma. It's just Charisma.
You know how you were already going to dump Strength anyway as a sorcerer? Now it just doesn't feel bad to do so.
Right.
Like now you're really just not punished for doing it.
So we just went with a 1.5 out of 5. Just very little things. I mean, 1 language.
Just to get it above the bare minimum 1, basically.
The Siege property is, a lot of times going to probably be niche. And then, again, you're not adding a bonus to it. You're just changing the stat.
Yes, you're getting to use your main stat instead of the other things.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So, obviously, if there's basically no RP in here, I wonder what the rest of it's going to. It's because it's going all to the combat side of things. We're going to get mad at stuff. We're going to smash it, both with our fists and martial weapons, might I add, because we're going to give that to Sorcerer for funsies, because why not? But the important thing is that even besides your strength checks and things, you can actually attack using your charisma modifier instead of your strength or dexterity.
Right.
And to me, the correct answer is the dexterity there. So
Absolutely.
you could use a longbow or a crossbow, and you could even take like a sharpshooter feat, something like that. So you would have a way to use damage for things, and you wouldn't have to have, using cantrips if you didn't want to. Of course, it's still an option. Things like that. You could take like a rapier, so you could have a melee option as well. Because if you try to use a cantrip on somebody that's right there in your face, you have disadvantage. Whereas if you got a little sharp, pointy sword, you give them a little.
And if you're huge, there could very well be up in your face.
Yeah, that's also a thing. Of course, when you use your manifestation, you're bigger, you get more AC, you get to use the charisma for attack rolls, you're getting to do extra damage on top of that, and you get to delete structures and things all of the time. Again, I would do my best if I'm ever fighting in an urban environment to try to bring down structures onto people if that's what it took to win the fight, because you can.
Yeah.
You're getting access to all the additional spells that Jameson went over earlier. On top of that, again, being able to eventually use, for your strength saving throws as well is going to help you stay alive a whole lot better with those strength save against spells and, restrains and a lot of things like that.
Yep.
That AC is going to come up. You're going to get extra attack additionally and additional use at 6. Then when you get the Titan's Will things, when this thing really starts going a little wild, because the bonus damage for your attacks goes from an extra D4 to an extra D10, and you get 20 feet more walking speed. So
and mind you, you could have like a heavy crossbow, and you have extra D10 that just shoot freaking beams. Yeah. We talked about this before. Yeah. It's like, DM, can I snap this tree in half and just chuck it like a spear?
Yeah.
You got advantage on your strength checks there when you hit 18, so...
Yep, and you're using your charisma. You're throwing it with sheer will. Your charisma. My personality throws this tree at you. Yeah, exactly. And of course, besides that, you get to do like a Paladin Smite-ish thing by spending spell slots and doing a thunder damage in an area around you. And one thing I wanted to point out when James and I were having this conversation earlier is that it seems like a 20-foot radius isn't that big, but you also have to factor in the fact that you're huge.
Right.
So you're already much bigger than the regular medium-sized person, so you're taking up a lot more space on the map, and it's 20 foot outside of that range. So it's not a regular-sized person with 20 foot. It's a very large thing within a 20-foot radius. It's like one of these guys. Right. Because obviously these are oversized for detail purposes, but actual mechanical size, that's their actual size. And it does scale up based on how you want higher spell slots. It's doing thunder damage again. Underrated damage type. Again, not a lot of things resist thunder damage. It's solid.
Yeah.
It is a con save though, which we don't love.
Not crazy.
But it's there, and it is AoE damage. It's all there. It gives you sorcery points back when you use this feature. And the best part about the whole thing for you as a full caster is you can spend 1 sorcery point to cast stuff up without having to use a higher spell slot to do it. So either give you... The extra damage is going to be good, but the first thing I'm immediately thinking of is being able to target extra things for 1 sorcery point.
Right.
So it's, normally maybe you could twin cast or something.
Yeah.
This would prevent you from having to spend like your meta magic options and take twin cast, because it only casts 1 point anyway, or 2 points or whatever. Just like I'm gonna make hold person target 2 things for 1 sorcery point. It's better action economy. So it does let you, in terms of that, focus on what you want to do that better with. And of course, finally with the capstone, because there's just all the combat things. This builds into further to say, instead of being a 1st or 2nd level, it's always at least a 3rd level worth of damage, even if you only spend a 1st or 2nd level spell slot. If you throw the sorcery point, you're getting a 4th level spell slots of damage on that effect instead of a 1 or a 2.
Right.
And you get the ultimate just unleash maximum damage from a spell as well, but it does end your feature, but you know that ahead of time. It's not a save, or it may happen. This is my last ditch. Throw all this tight energy I've got in this one effect. Whew. It's a lot in there. So we gave it a 4 out of a possible 5. It sounds like, best of all the talking I just did, it should be higher than that. But there are some drawbacks, and that's kind of tied into the synergy a little bit, which Jameis is going to start with, obviously. You do get some you get a lot of defensive and things like that, but you're still a sorcerer and you still have a D6 hit die. So there is some danger to having like melee weapons and other things in your build. So even though you're going to get more AC, you're going to be in there, you can slap people around, you still don't have a ton of health pool. So it does kind of hurt your chances a little bit there.
Yes, so I'll just get straight into the synergy side, just continuing on with that thought, which, yes, you have a D6 hit die. So making yourself a bigger target, not necessarily the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, you can deal some extra damage. Yes, you have some options with, increased. It's like a pseudo increased reach because you are larger. So you have 5 foot reach still, but you're a bigger body, so you can kind of get more reach with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff can hit you as well, though. That's the difference, really, with that. So there is that side of things, which is a bit sketchy. Another thing that is nice is the extra spells you get from it. But you do have to be transformed to get those extra spells. So, and you can only transform up to 3 times a day. So very limited with that.
Yep.
You have the buffs to the spells as well later on as you level up through the subclass. And the thing is, too, with these spells, they're really not a whole lot of damage. You're doing it more as a potential way to, I would say, get the secondary effect along with it. Other than maybe the Blaze one, which gives this free fire damage. That's probably one of the better ones. But it is concentration. I mean, a lot of these are concentration. And again, you're going to have a big body, so you're going to be a little bit easier to hit than you otherwise would be normally.
Yeah, because there's no like hiding behind other objects and things. You're fighting because you're too big. You're just always seen.
I say you're going to be easier to hit. You do have +4 to your armor class.
Yeah.
But I would say, too, as you get higher level, your armor class becomes less and less relevant because things start getting like +15, +16 to hit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which armor class it's going to hit.
It's a chance. It's a 5% change from armor class of 18 to 19. So it's just just a 5% change as far as dice rolls what you're getting hit or not.
Right.
So it's not a huge thing. Now, if your AC goes from 12 to 18, that's a huge change. For in some mechanic, which for you this is a huge deal because you're a sorcerer and anything that helps you stay alive is a good thing.
Right. And I think the other thing too is the damage output of these. Again, as I was saying, it's not that much. If you compare it to a cantrip, by the time you're level 18, you're going to be having usually like 4d8, 4d12 for like cantrips.
4d10 firebolts.
It's a first level spell that does 1d12, first level spell that does 1d8. I mean, even if you upcast it to 4th level, it's still only going to do 4d8. It's the same as a cantrip. So, and you're having to cast a first level spell slot and a sorcery point to upcast it to 4.
Yep.
So, comparison-wise, I wouldn't be too crazy about the spells. I think really the better ones are going to be the Smite one and the Blaze, because you just add a little bit of extra damage, and then when people get near you, they take more damage. But of course, you can't do both of them because they're both concentration.
That's
so
right.
You got to weigh the pros and cons with those.
You do.
I think the biggest issue here is your size is just going to make you a bigger target. So you are squishy. Even if you are big, you're still squishy.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. There's no buffs to your health pool.
Yeah, you're Stay Puffed Marshmallow Ghost Man from Ghostbusters.
As I read through this, the first time I read through this, every like ability, I was like, okay, where's the increased health? Or where's the temp HP?
Yeah, where's the I could have swore I was going to read the words temporary hit points at some point in this.
See, that's what I thought too. I'm like, you're getting bigger. I'm like, yeah, you get a little bit of armor, but I mean,
you still got less than 100 hit points
even if you're bigger,
level 15.
Even if you're bigger, that makes you more apt to be hit by an area of effect spell because you're taking up more space. There's a higher chance.
And there's no such thing as like partial cover for you.
Right, it's going to be huge.
And half cover, all this
absolutely.
Junk.
So
you're gargantuan.
As odd as it is, we gave it a 3.5 out of synergy.
Yeah.
Which is a little strange usually that to have a combat score higher than the synergy. Which it seems like it's usually the other way around. Not always, depending on some of these kind of weird internal like mechanics of how things work. With the risk of your hit die being small and then you being big. That definitely plays into it. So it's a little strange of a thing, but I think the biggest thing that is about it is the maxing damage. The only thing with that is, too, I would say the last kind of comment with the synergy is it does take an action to transform, not a bonus action.
Yeah.
So it's going to take probably your first turn of a combat to do that as well. So you're just kind of sitting out that first turn, which always feels kind of bad to do.
It does
for a main feature,
without question. But
like imagine if a barbarian's rage was an action, that would feel really.
It would feel really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's completely different, but just to have one of your main features be tied behind an action just always feels a little awkward. So
yeah.
That being said, a very interesting, if anything, to see like a giant caster.
A transforming caster.
Strange.
Yeah, that's not a druid.
So yeah, definitely interesting to see more stuff from Arcadia and things like that. If you are interested, please let us know down below. If you want to see more subclasses from Matt Colville and those things, I know he's got a new class he's working on as well. So whenever that comes out, if you guys want to see that, please let us know. I know we did the Illrigger and the Beast Heart both. So if you guys want to keep seeing more of that stuff, please let us know.
Yeah.
We'll keep posting it. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you know when all of our new videos are coming out.
That's right.
Thanks again to our sponsors. Check them out in the link down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsors, Hit Point Press. Check out their big, bad bundles. Unique, cool monsters, history, lore, everything you need to throw these villains into your campaign.
And it's a great way to get around your players that like to metagame, or if they do it accidentally, like I tend to do at times. Maybe they think they know what this monster is by the description. They can create some fun opportunities and unique things to throw at even your most experienced players would not see coming.
So check out the link in the description down below.